Trigga.
Trigga.
We've already heard you before, but before we play your song, do you want to give a little background on the song or talk about what we're going to be listening to right now?
Yeah, well, basically the song that you're going to play right now is pretty much my new single. You guys are actually going to be the first ones to play this record today.
We are
Actually in Miami, period. Before we go on our little promotional tour that we're going to do.
We are hot. We are hot.
That's amazing. So after we play the song, we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to talk to you, and we're going to learn all about your plans and fears.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. All right, hold on. Let me blur it.
Sylvia, keep your hands away from him. Oh.
He just can't help himself, dear.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Okay, mic's are off.
All right, we got about 3 minutes.
So, did you like that? Loved it. Are you having fun?
Small budget. I know the feeling when you're trying and it don't happen. I know the feeling when you're broke and you can't have it. I'm seeing stars, they still shooting, I can't catch it. I'm really hoping that things change. Thinking that you're winning, but you're playing the same game. Don't run away. I'm still praying, I'm hoping the pain goes. I'm trapped in my own mind. The world is so cold, they need hope. Trying to make a change with this music. Trying to make them all use their brain when they listen. Nothing else to lose, put yourself in my position. They say they want the truth, but satisfied with fiction.
I'm missing with oh yeah. I saw you on stage, bro. I was there. Yeah, I just had to see it.
This is got a little.
Something up there.
So, how are we gonna get Mr. Trigga involved with the concert?
No one knows my story.
That's how we do it.
Love to have you come perform.
So many years of being trapped, I deserve a chance. They say they really want to change, but they really can't. Don't be discouraged by the distance. Instead, be persistent, be consistent. It's going to take commitment. I know it's hard to deal with the envy. Know to stand tall when the world is against me. I know to keep calm when the world is in frenzy. They say they keep talking, but it doesn't offend me. Cause all I do is think big, never small. Think big, never small. You can say that they real, doesn't mean that they real. You can tell when it falls apart. What you thought?
Your website is ONE.
Yeah, it's spelled out, but for social media, I put one.
There's about a minute left. We've got about a minute on the song.
Take me round the world and never bring me back again. No one knows my story or how it's supposed to end. Take me round the world and never bring me back again.
Take me around. I like it.
It's great.
All right.
That is one
Love it.
slick production.
You heard it here first.
That was fantastic. All right.
Nice
Woo!
job.
This is a major drop, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Tell us a little bit about the song and about your music and about you and everything. And you have exactly 12 seconds to tell us all about it.
No, that's
Trigga, that's it.
.com.
Goodbye.
Well, pretty much as far as this song itself, I actually wrote the lyrics. I write everything to the song.
Mm-hmm.
That guy who's actually singing on that record, I actually seen him on the middle of the street just singing one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually studied him for a while, so I was pretty much stalking him for like a while.
Okay.
So and I noticed that he worked in Fridays on South Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I just kept watching them for a couple of weeks now. And then one day I just said, I hit Lou up. I said, man, I'm going to come to the studio. And I got a record. I got a big record. I think, you know, somebody could, you know, potentially it could be a single pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed the dude the lyrics or whatnot. He sung it. And that's what you got right there pretty much.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to write the lyrics for that song?
Not too long. As soon as I heard the beat, I already had the hook. I was
So
ready.
is that your normal process of writing music, where you hear the beat first and then you sort of write songs?
Yeah, the chorus follows right behind it.
Okay.
Pretty much.
How long have you been writing music?
Probably, I would say a good music itself, a good 6 to 7 years.
What got you started?
Pretty much, you know, your typical hood story. We pretty much lived in the hood. We was poor. We didn't have nothing. All I had was to express myself. So I used to write poems. I used to like rewrite the roses are red, violets are blue. You know, jump up, so can you. You know, stuff like that. I used to do that. And then my sister said, man, you should try to put that on like a beat. And I said, nah, I can't do that. I can't do it. And she said, man, do it. You could do it. And one day I tried it, and from there, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
The melody of music itself.
So you were born in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I was born in New York. I was born in Brooklyn.
And how old were you when you came here to
Probably
Miami?
like 3 years. I came the same year Hurricane Andrew hit. So
That was a devastating time.
Yeah, it
that
was like
so hard.
Hey, welcome home.
My brother had just bought a house and he lost it in Hurricane Andrew.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Yeah, so pretty much when we came down here, we knew nothing about a hurricane. So it was terrible. No food, no nothing. We didn't really know anything.
You mentioned you have a sister. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I'm actually the only boy.
You're the only boy?
I have like 4 sisters.
4 sisters!
Wow.
And what are the age groups of everybody?
I got 2 older and 2 younger.
So you're like right in the middle?
Yeah, I'm the middle.
Okay.
Pretty much.
And the oldest is like, the oldest to the youngest, what's the age gap?
We was
5
actually,
years, 6
yeah,
years?
we was actually right behind each other.
Okay.
So when we was younger, when we was like, you know, going through those trials and tribulations, pretty much it was my older sisters and me.
Okay.
So the new ones, they never really went through the
Felt
struggle that we
same
went
way.
through. Yeah.
And you guys were sort of like on your own, figuring all that stuff
Yeah,
out.
pretty much.
So you grew up in Carroll City, you were telling me. What high school did you go to?
Carroll City.
Carroll City?
Yeah.
Carroll City, okay. And was there anyone there, any teacher or anyone who influenced you or influenced, you know, what you mentioned poetry. Was there someone that introduced you to poetry, or was there something that just kind of
Actually, I used to listen to a lot of you know, like Tupac and Nas. Like my first record was actually a Nas record, and I didn't know who he was. I just listened to it because I liked the way he rhymed. And then what really got me was Tupac, really, because of what he was saying. I felt like, oh shoot, you know, he's going through the same thing I'm going through. Let me listen to this guy, you know, like that. But as far as school, it was probably a math teacher. She used to speak to me. She always saw something in me. And actually, in my band teacher, he's actually the band instructor for the Miami Heat.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so
cool.
Every time you go to the game, you see a Miami Heat. The leader he was my teacher.
Okay.
So he was the person that really, like, he used to pull me to the side. Hey, you know, you don't have to be in the hood. You don't have to be in that neighborhood, man. There's something in you. There's something in you. And I never understood because I wasn't doing music. I was like, yeah, I see it too. Whatever, you know. We just walked off. But he really gravitated to me. He really put me to the side. Like, man, for real, you should do this, do that, and I just followed it.
Did you take any musical lessons or learn
Nothing. Nothing. I learned by ear.
So, have you learned to play any instruments now at all, or
no,
kind of dabble?
A little dibble dabble there. You know, I could tell you what to put. You know, I could tell you how to play it. You know, what I hear in my head, and you know, we bring it to life. Because most of our records, that's what we do. I'm behind the beat, pretty much. Me and Carlos, but he's not here right now. You know, then Lou. So we all just, you know, we put all our ideas and we just bring it to life.
What studio do you work out of?
A-Team Studios. We're located, actually, is our own in-house studio. We got Lou right there. He runs the studio. It's his studio.
He's
Where do you want to take your music? I'm not talking about like I want to tour in Japan. I mean, like where do you see your music evolving and growing?
As far as honestly, me in my heart,
Yeah.
I feel like with my music, I can make a change in the world.
Okay.
That always been my goal. Even when I was a little kid, before I even knew music, I used to tell my mom, "I'm gonna change the world." She'd be like, "Yeah, okay, yeah." And I said, "I'm gonna change the world." I used to tell her that.
Good night, everyone. I have to take him home.
and that's how you tell your significant other.
I just
So
adopted a
sweet.
young man. He is now our son.
One of the things that I actually wanted to point out to all of our listeners, I was talking back and forth through email to Carlos, another one of your team members, and I had asked. We always ask whenever we're playing music on the show if there's any sort of bad language, that we have to have a clean version. And one of the things that Carlos mentioned to me was that none of your music has foul language.
It's clean.
It's all of your music is clean.
Yeah.
And inspirational.
I'm assuming that was a conscious decision?
No,
or
actually,
that just
I
evolved?
don't cuss.
Okay.
In my own, like even when I'm having a conversation with
Okay.
you know, so I feel like why should I put it in my music?
Mhm.
To me, honestly, there's too much negativity in the world right now for me to put out that type of vibe. So
Right.
if I felt like when I was younger, I needed inspiration, so I want to give that same inspiration I needed when I was younger.
Rather than writing music that is sort of sarcastic or
pretty
snarky
much,
or looks down on the situation of things, you're
exactly.
actually turning it on the other side.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what are the things that we can get positive out of?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that was something. That was something I picked up because of course, I YouTubed you, and and I was listening. I was listening to your stuff that you had, and that was one thing that struck me. And there's just, I think there's only one anagram that you use. It's an A and then another word, but you don't say the word. You kind of, piece it together. And I got the gist of it, and I was like, wow, this is very refreshing and very different and very creative. You're trashing every.
I'm slowly.
DJ is trying to get a cookie as I'm trying to have an interview.
We're sharing a moment, Sam.
So I want to thank you. I want to thank you, truly thank you, because I found your work, and I used the word a minute ago, inspirational.
Thank you.
And I think that that's something that the youth really, that everyone, the youth needs. No, not youth. You need inspiration. I hear all this music, and of course we've had many artists here. And one thing that I always question is why. Okay, so you use colorful adjectives that we all use in daily life, but do we need to incorporate them in our music? Do we need to incorporate changing people's viewpoints to a negative viewpoint? One thing that I saw in your music, you don't degrade women. And women are always degraded, and women themselves, in a lot of this music, they degrade themselves. And I find that so disturbing, and you're not doing any of that. You're going against the grain of the norm, which, by the way, none of that was norm. You did it to inspire something else in people, to inspire that revolt, to question. But now it's part of the everyday vernacular, and it's not inspiring anyone. If anything, it's, I find, and you can, you know, your view on it, please. I find it to be very just destructive.
Appreciate it. I mean, like, to me, the type of music I try to make music for hope. I feel like people need hope. Mm-hmm. There's no hope. Nobody's searching for hope because we're a bunch of hopeless people just walking around. It's pretty much a lot of zombies. Everybody's following pretty much what the radio or artists are giving out. Mm-hmm. So I plan to do something different and just be myself, and that's what I am. I'm being myself because I know how it feels. So I feel like, I want to give them something that I know, they need, pretty much.
We have only a few minutes left in our program. I wanted to ask Thomas and Tess if you have any questions for Mr. Trigga, or vice versa.
One.
As artists amongst you, the three of you, is there anything that you sort of are inspired by or have questions
You
of
want to
or
go
anything.
first, Thomas?
Well, not really a question. I just would like to congratulate him because and I hope it's a trend that continues. And I totally agree with Nora. And you know, when we were told that you were coming and that you were going to play a song, I really, because dare I say it, I really don't. I'm not into rap, but what you just did. No, you know what I mean. Like the really hard rap. It's just the beat's not. There's not even a good beat. But this is amazing. So what do you? Is it rap? I mean, I don't see it as real traditional rap. It's really beautiful.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, I don't even know what to call it, really, to be honest. I just be me. Like
It's all good music. This is
Sam G said it better.
Thank you.
You already know. DJ Sam G. It's called good music.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I wish we had another 8 hours to fill. If you want more information on One Trigga, you can go to onetrigga, Trigga.com. If you want to email Sylvia and Selma relationship questions, go to Sylvia and Selma 1807 at gmail.com.
Also, they can call Kathy Tully at Coconut Grove Talent if
Coconut
they
Grove Talent,
want any
Kathy Tully,
inquiry
for any information on Tesla Bella and Mr. Thomas Falborn. Tess, Thomas, Sylvia, Selma, Trigga, thank you all for being here today. And Sam, I'm glad you got here. Cheers.
And if you want to write to us, it's entertainbizz with two Z's at gmail.com.
We got that one. Remember to go to entertainbizz.com, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and please submit a positive review. Ingrid, thank you so much for all of your help. My name is Jesse Stolo.
I'm Nora Adler.
And I'm your boy CMZ.
The awkward pauses.
This is Entertaining Business. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Come back, please. We'll bring you back.
We will.
Have a great week, everyone.
Only the remark.
You too.
More cookies.
Oh my God, that was so great. You are so
Okay,
inspiring.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
We gotta move fast.
We'll do hugs and
Lights look tough and I'm ready. Let's pass off.